for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. Listen, we got breaking news. The Miami Dolphins cut Mike White. We're going to get into that and more, what this means going forward, and some other information that I'm a little bit worried about with this cut. I'll explain all of that in just a moment. But before we do, just want you to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000 using BetUS. The link is in the description of the video, also pinned at the top of the chat. We're talking fast and easy payouts, ladies and gentlemen. So supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. BetUS.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
BetUS, the online sportsbook and casino, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, somebody asked me the other day, TD, can you show us how to use BetUS? Well, look, when you log in, it's going to take you to a home screen. On that home screen, you look to the left, you can see all the different sports: football, basketball, ice hockey, baseball, golf, tennis, so forth and so on. I also want you to know, if you look at the banner at the top, it's a sports book with live betting. It also has the casino, race book, promotions, and BetUS TV. When you're going to BetUS TV and scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see your boy TD. So every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., I am on a show called The Huddle with Richie Malora and Dan Mitchell. So make sure that you check that out. It's pretty dope. We talk all things NFL. But going back to the sports book, okay, I'm going to click on football and I'm going to show you with the games today what we have on our slate. I'm going to select games, display all for preseason week 3. And today we have the Tennessee Titans versus New Orleans Saints, Arizona Cardinals versus Denver Broncos, and New England Patriots versus the Washington Commanders. Okay. When you look at this, you can see that Tennessee is obviously the favorite to win the game. Anytime you have the minus, that's the team that's the favorite and for those odds. And when you have the plus, this team isn't the favorite. But here's what I'm going to do. I like New Orleans in this game, so plus 203. So what that means, if you look on the right side, if I put $100 on it, I would win $203 on top of my 100, okay? That's what that means, ladies and gentlemen. So I can place that bet if I want, and bam, I got my entry in. But I'm a little risky guy. I'm gonna click on parlays up here. I love doing parlays. So, and you know, I love taking underdogs. So I'm gonna go with New Orleans Saints plus 203. I'm gonna go Arizona Cardinals to win a plus 129, and I'm even gonna go Washington Commanders as well. Okay. I'm going to go them to win plus 253. Now, if I select all 3 of those, hoping they all happen, and I put that same $100, I can win $2,349.26. Underneath, you hit place your bet, and then you confirm the bet, and there you have it. 2349.36 has been in. Let me see here. All right. As you can see below, there you have it. There you have it. If that happens, I'm able to win $2,349.36. Now, it's not likely because we're talking 3 underdogs, but that's how you use it, okay? At least from regards to the sports book, that's one way to use it as well. A lot of people like to do the over and unders right here on the right column. You can check that out as well. So if you're looking for a new sports book, ladies and gentlemen, BetUS is where you want to go because they're giving you that 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. You take advantage of that and you're in the game, all right? All right, so let's dive in and let's get to it. We got a lot to discuss. Let me mute my second screen real quick. All right, so we're good now. All right. Let me see how many people rocking with us real quick. All right, we got 375 people here right now, over 270 on YouTube and almost 100 on Twitter. Hit that like button. If you're on Twitter, come over to YouTube and sub to the channel. We continue to grow as a family and as a platform. So come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We are on our journey to 30,000 subscribers. So thank y'all for helping me be well on my way there. We're going to hit that probably in the first month. It's crazy. All right. All right. Let's dive in. Okay. Mike White is gone. First and foremost, thank you to Mike White. Thank Mike White for all that he's done for this team. He was a good backup last year, in my opinion, for the Miami Dolphins at the moment. I feel like Skylar never seized the moment last year to officially become the backup. So we needed a guy like Mike White so that if Tua was to go out 2 or 3 games, we have a backup that might can maybe eke out a win or 2, you know? But this isn't about Mike White, ladies and gentlemen. This cut isn't about Mike White. It's really about Skylar Thompson. He's starting to develop certain intangibles that the coaching staff, they're liking, they're feeling a little bit more comfortable with. Therefore, they felt good about saying, hey, let's go ahead and save a few bucks on Mike White because we don't see the difference, and we believe Skylar is a little bit better at this point. He's definitely developing into a good backup quarterback. So Mike White has earned his right. Now, I know how Mike McDaniel operates. To me, this just means that next year in the draft, we will be drafting yet another quarterback in the later rounds, potentially, to develop as the future backup. Why do you do that? You got to keep that QB carousel rolling and trying to find your Purdy's and Brady's of the world always. But keep in mind, that doesn't mean Skylar may not be that guy either. You know, these are the opportunities you get. We all know that this is Tua Tagovailoa's team. This is Tua's team at the end of the day, and he will lead this team. But in the event that things from the past comes back to haunt us, at the end of the day, we got to have a viable guy who can actually run the offense. Skylar showed you in the last preseason game he can do that. Not only can he do that, McDaniel is looking for him to take the next step, ladies and gentlemen. It's not good enough to win the backup battle and just be a backup. But we need you to start transitioning to be the best backup in the league. The backup that if he is given an opportunity, people are looking at it and saying, they might have a little something there. That's his next step. Now, sometimes, you never get that opportunity because the starter never goes down. He's already had that opportunity when he was younger in his career. He did not seize it, although there were moments, especially in the playoffs with the Buffalo Bills game, he showed the coaching staff that he had something that could be untapped. So therefore, we're going to continue to move forward with it and see how it goes. And we knock on wood because we want our starter to steer the ship, but if that opportunity comes again, we got to see lights out play by him. Okay? Now, also recognize that Skylar Thompson is also on an expiring contract. So with that being said, Skylar Thompson may be looking for an extension as well as a backup now for years to come. So the more he plays on as a backup in practice, the better he looks in practice. You could also potentially look for a Skylar Thompson contract extension at some point during the regular season. Okay, not right away, but at some point during the regular season. Now, if he's not seizing that moment, they may wait until the offseason and give him a new deal or allow him to go forward, move on. But that's all going to depend on how Skylar plays in practice. And if he is given an opportunity, then that tells you all you need to know. He needs to seize the moment, and then they have an issue of how they're going to pay him or if they will be able to pay him, because if he seizes the moment, he might get a bigger opportunity somewhere in the league. So this is one of those situations where Chris Grier has to decide, do I extend my backup on a team-friendly deal for a few years, or do I let it play out? It's a small decision, but it actually is one that can go a long way. But you got to guess now. And whatever he decides, we'll keep you apprised to it right here on TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all, congratulations to Skylar. I've been on record telling you all now. I know I've trolled and say Skylar is the best quarterback on the roster. Anybody that didn't know that was a troll from day one, I'm sorry for you. You take things a little too literal. But I am a firm believer that Skylar does have skill in him. I do feel like Skylar has an opportunity to really, really, really be a good quarterback in this league with the right situation around him. I don't think Skylar Thompson is the type of guy that's going to so much, I'm not going to say elevate the guys around him, but I think that he can make plays in this league. Now, I do think Skylar is more like a Tannehill where he needs great protection. Although he's a little more mobile, he can get out of trouble a little more, but he also wants to make the play so much that he may hold on to the ball at times, even though we saw a different side this training camp where he was going through progressions, getting rid of the ball, and Mike White ended up being the one holding the ball a little too much. All right. So that might be progression. When you talk about a backup, you have such a small sample size, so you don't like to say things in stone, but one could suggest that he's progressed. So with that being said, we'll continue to monitor him as years go on, see if they want to continue with them next year. And Skylar Thompson, as of right now, will be our backup quarterback this year, unless the team feels that they want to go out in free agency and get another quarterback. But let me tell you why that's highly unlikely. And if they do go out and get another quarterback, it is actually for the practice squad. Because why would they go out to get another quarterback? Because I've heard people out here suggesting, no, this just means that they're going to get another backup and they're going to put Skylar on practice squad, then why get rid of Mike White? Just keep Mike White and put so that's all. Don't listen to the people when they say stuff like that. It's just like when things don't add up, don't listen to people that say crazy stuff like that. Skylar is QB2. I've been telling y'all for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now. There's a competition, and I'm telling you, Skylar's looking better than Mike White. And I think Skylar's going to win this job. I've been telling y'all that for over 2 weeks now. Skylar's probably going to win this backup job, but he has to seize the moment. And I also knew that the Miami Dolphins put Skylar out there in those first 2 preseason games first to allow him to seize the moment. And I honestly don't even think he did okay, but he didn't fully seize the moment in those first 2 games, allowing Mike White a window into possibly reclaiming his throne. So Mike White came out with the twos in the preseason game, and this was his opportunity. He did not grab a hold to it. Actually, he made his stock worse. And then Skylar Thompson got an opportunity with the lower end of the roster because that was the excuse for Mike White. Well, technically, even McDaniel made the excuse in the press conference. Technically, he's playing with the 3s and the 4s. You got to keep that in mind, too. So when he finally played with the 2s and 3s, it got worse for him. And when Skylar played with the 3s and 4s, he elevated the unit. And I knew it was over at that point. I knew it was over. It wasn't even debatable. I went live on Bleacher Report immediately after the game, and I told everybody Mike White is going to get cut. Skylar is QB2. We'll save the $3 million pretty much, and we'll carry that on to next year because we're going to need every penny possible. This is a success for Mike McDaniel and his coaching staff. This is what y'all got to realize. This is a success for the coaching staff also. A lot of people don't equate that. This is a success for the coaching staff. These are the successes that you look for. Opportunities to save money because you were able to develop a guy to take on a role that you were spending more money in. Those are successes. That's what we've been waiting on at the corner position, and we failed because Noah Monogamy didn't allow us to save money. Cam Smith, as so far, hasn't allowed us to save money. These are the things we've been hoping for. The linebacker position, everybody we bring in hasn't allowed us to save money. And so the tight end position, everybody we bring in and draft doesn't allow us to save money because we failed. This is one of the rare successes that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel has had. So you got to put it in the books. So you got to recognize it. Recognize that this is a team success when you can have a guy that you brought in to develop and he actually takes a prominent role. Backup quarterback is a prominent role in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. He earned it. He achieved it. And I got to be honest with you, no matter how you feel if Tua goes out, oh, we're in trouble. Well, yeah, we may be in trouble, but I feel at least better than I did last year and the year before. I really do. And it still won't be on Tua's level. But I do feel a little bit better. I feel like with the right coaching and the right guys around him, we could still try to be a 500 team if Tua was absent. I really do. Now, time will tell. Time shall tell. That's what it ends up coming down to, okay? All right. Another element to this that y'all know, I even feel it myself. I've been real positive on this stream. I've been good. I've been talking about the positives and how this is a good thing and the ups and downs. Now let's talk about something that's of concern of this. Better keep an eye out on where Mike White goes. Not because he's a threat to us from a playing standpoint, but you better keep an eye out on where he ends up. You better keep an eye out on where Mike White ends up. You don't want him to end up back with the Jets. You don't want him to end up back with the Buffalo Bills. I don't care about no Patriots. Ain't nobody worrying about that. But I'm telling you now, that would be massive. Straight up. Who better to know? Who better to know the nuances, the ups, downs, ins, and outs, and who better to know Like, who better to know? The new wrinkles, everything. Who better to know? Calling it what it is. Now, y'all can talk that big boy stuff in the chat all you want. I'm not worried. Let them go. Who better to know? Who better to confirm? Be for real. No one's worried about us. Well, this will certainly make them even less worried if that's the case. But let's be honest. Teams ain't worried about us overall because they got a thought process that we're soft and we're looking to go punch them in the mouth this year and show them we're not. But having a Mike White who can give you the confidence, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to know what's coming and what to expect or what the tendencies and what the groupings are, I'm telling you, you can say it however you want. Yeah, you still got to go out there and execute, but we know who better to know how to install or what we love to do from a game plan standpoint. Somebody said throw to Tyreek, big surprise. No. See, when you got a quarterback in the building, you can start to pick his brain and say, okay, now we don't have to hone in on Tyreek. We could just focus on doing this and then having the security there and maybe even send more pressure. Like there's certain things when you know the nuances, there's certain things that you can now start to game plan and feel confident because this is the team's tendencies. Now he can confirm, listen, do everything here because Miami, we don't like to do this, and here's why. So all that theories that we run around here, we don't like throwing outside the numbers. We don't like when a DC get confirmation, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. Keep an eye out on where he ends up. And let me tell you where I'm worried about where he end up. Because Jets got a solid backup. Because if he went to the Jets, that'll just plainly tell you it's only for one reason. But Buffalo need a backup. That's it. If y'all ain't been paying attention to Buffalo, that's what they all crying about. Man, we got the worst backup in the league. Come on, Bean, get on the phone. As soon as this news drop, you got Dan Mitchell. Bean, get on the phone now. Like, they know. Lucky for them, Josh Allen rarely ever misses. But if they ever have to, they ain't got nothing over there worth nothing. They know it's over. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm worried about Buffalo getting them. Because this year we're going to destroy Buffalo, but they get that extra little bit of confidence with them young guys in the secondary and stuff. I'm telling you now. And don't let them give them a little solid money. Hey, we're going to pay you like a backup, but we're going to throw a little something in there because you know what time it is, Mike White. Hey, we feel like you good and you're the best option at number 2. So you secure. You ain't got to worry about battling out with nobody. And on top of that, hey, let's get this information. Let's go. Talk to me about the tendency. And I don't care what none of them say. Players can be sitting there like, I've never talked about, from previous teams. Shut up. You want to win. When it come to game week and stuff, hey, watch out for this. Watch out. Y'all want to win. Hey, listen, if I'm playing for you and I go to another team and we about to play y'all and it can make me look better, whatever, man, I'm singing like a humbird. Oh, hey, like I be hearing players, in interviews. No, I've never, went to another team and told them this and that. Well, I don't know why. I don't know why. Matter of fact, not only that, when we go, I want to tell you so much that I can come back to you after the game. Remember I told you about that? You see what happened? Hey, remember that next year when it's time to resign. I'm your guy. Man, I'm just trying to keep it a buck, man. I'm just trying to keep it a buck. I already know people gonna be in my comment section with, oh, so TD, you showing us your personality. You're a sellout. Man, listen, I have morals, I have principles, but I do not act like everything's sweet in this world. I don't walk around, with this high moral compass like everybody else don't have it. Like I'm a realist. I'm so much of a realist. And that's how it works. And that's what happens in this league. This is what they be doing. I don't care who say they don't. No. The ones that don't probably be the ones that get picked up the week before and then dumped off right before the game or right after. Them probably the ones that don't. But yeah, man, that's what I'm actually keeping an eye on. Where does Mike White end up? Because there are a lot of teams that can use his services right now. Some of them questioning whether they starter. I mean, you look at Minnesota, Sam Darnold in the starting position, he looking bad. There's a lot of teams that could use a good backup that could possibly come in and even fight to start if things don't go well. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. And I'm telling you now, if I get that breaking news and Mike White end up in Buffalo, if Mike White end up in Buffalo, boy, I told you. I told you. I hope not, though. Time will tell. We shall see. Again, y'all hit that like button. We got 648 people watching, over 400 on YouTube, over 200 on Twitter. Again, everybody watching on Twitter, if you want to come over to the YouTube channel and sub to the channel, that way we can go ahead and count you in the number and you can be involved in the chat and everything. All right. Shout out to Twitch too. I see our lone Twitch soldier over there. Shout out to Mitch M. Said hashtag Ryan Tannehill time. Well, hey, you're going to see, this is where it's counterproductive. You're going to take a little $2 million cap hit on Mike White to save $2.5 million and then get Tannehill, which is probably going to cost even more. That's counterproductive. I can see you going to get a Tannehill or something if Tua did go down. And then you put, Skylar in and brought in another guy like Tannehill just in case. And we'd have to be winning at that point. But right now, it's Tua Tagovailoa and Skylar Thompson. So we'll see what we get out of that. We'll see how the future unfolds in that regards, okay? I think he goes, I see y'all in the chat, I think he goes to Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, that ain't the only team. It's other teams out there where there's a possibility. All right. There are no realists in the NFL, only manipulators. I mean, that could be fair too. Leave Tannehill on the couch. Tannehill chilling. He know that he gonna get that phone call at some point when somebody get hurt, and he gonna come in and try to Flacco the situation, and it's gonna determine whether he move forward or not in this league. It's that simple. But yeah. So, like I said, this is a good thing for the Miami Dolphins. Anybody want to spin this a bad way? That would be very interesting to me. I'm not shocked by it. I actually thought I knew that this would take place. And well-deserved by Skylar Thompson. I still believe in Skylar Thompson, y'all. I think that he has something that can be tapped into. Now, whether that becomes a really good bottom-end starter one day, I'm not saying that at this point. But I feel like there's something there, though, that can still be tapped into. So he wins the position. We move forward with that. Here we are. All right. Let's see how it all works out. This year is important. Above all, we need Tua to stay healthy this year, obviously. The reality is we don't want to be in a situation where we even need to utilize the backup quarterback. We don't need to be in a situation where we need to utilize it. And if we do have to utilize the backup quarterback, man, sad day in Miami. Very sad. And we hope we don't get there, okay? I'll take a few questions before I get up out of here in the chat. I will be going live on Roundtable Sports soon, talk about a few things happening around the NFL. So go check out Roundtable Sports. Make sure you sub there. We can't control that, and our O-line is suspect. Well, who's responsible for the O-line being suspect? At this point, I don't even put it on a O-line coach. If our O-line doesn't hold up and they're one of the main issues this year, let's call it what it is. Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer have to answer for that. It's that simple. Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer got to answer for that. And I hate to talk like this, but I get sick of this crap by the Dolphins. Because here's the Dolphin way. If our O-line is the reason why we don't succeed this year and we don't make a playoff game or something like that, right? Something crazy that angers us all. Soon as free agency come, they're going to go get the best guard available and the best center available. Oh, we're ready now. Armstead going to retire. They'll probably drag Patrick Paul will go in. And they'll give us hope. Well, Patrick Paul been solid. I think he could hold it down. Plus, we got a new center, a new guard. Yeah. Chubb won't be here. See, we'll notice the addition because it addresses the issue, but we won't notice the addition through subtraction that's happening around. We won't notice that. We won't notice it. And then there'll be another issue. Then we'll add and we'll subtract. In the next round of subtracting after that, guys like Ramsey, guys like Tyreek after 2 years. And then you'll look up 3 years from now and you'll say, here we go again. We have a roster that's in constant purgatory of 8 to 10, maybe lucky 11 wins all the time. And to take that pessimistic approach away, all I'm asking today is for Chris Greer to say, screw it, man. Let me go trade for a guard in a center right now, starting caliber, expiring contract. And I know it's hard to do at this point, but why did you let it get to a point to where it's hard? It still possibly can be done. You might just have to give up more than you want, but this is your window. You believe in the quarterback. You believe in the running backs. You believe in the receivers. You like your tight end group. You feel good about your secondary. You've upgraded a little bit in the linebacking core. You got a plethora of edge players. Y'all don't realize it's going to be a long time before we're this close again. It's going to be a long time before we're this close again. 2-3 years from now, I'm going to start saying this to y'all. Who on this roster better than Tyreek Hill? Who on this roster was better than Teron Armstead? Who on this roster was better than Jalen Ramsey? Who on this roster was better than Christian Wilkins in their position groups? Who on this, you see what I mean? I'm going to be saying that. What receiver on this roster now was better than Tyreek? What corner on this roster now was better than Jalen Ramsey? What lineman on this roster was better than Teron Armstead? What interior lineman was better than Connor Williams? What defensive lineman will tackle or whatever was better than Christian Wilkins? We'll have a guy to replace him, and we might even like him. But the answer to my question is going to be no across the board. No one. Highly likely that the answer is going to be no one. Highly likely. That's why right now you need to recognize it's going to be hard to have a roster like this again. Let's go. Let's go. Go get the center. Screw all this. And Brewer will be back at some point. And right now we gotta hold it down, hopefully. Stop all this indecisive, hopefully stuff. Go get it. Go get it. I don't get it. And I know a lot of people, well, you're still going to have some really good players let go on the wire because their team had a lot of them. Go get it, man. Just, I don't care about the money situation. Like blindly for the first time, I'm always the one telling y'all it's going to come back to bite us. Blindly for the first time, I don't care how bad the future is going to be financially. I don't care anymore. I'm just worried about now. You done extended to us, so it doesn't matter anyway. You're locked into the path you chose. So none of all of that preparing for it matters. And now you're trying to prepare for it by holding on to the little money you have so you can move it to next season to give you a little relief next year so you could try to figure it out. Like, we got a little bit over $20-something million right now, and they want to move it over the next season so that instead of being negative 50, we could be negative 30. Like, and try to figure it out from there. And the craziest part, if you don't understand that we're going to be in financial trouble, watch Tyreek and Tua immediately have a restructure 1 year after they get their new outlook on contract. Usually you get a contract and you start having restructures 2 or 3 years down the line. Watch immediately next year, they're going to be restructuring right away. You think they're going into next year taking that 51 or $61 million cap hit from Tua? You think they are? No. And they ain't got enough new contracts on the roster to restructure the right way. I think we have 34 million now, but I could be wrong. I'll check it. I haven't even looked in the last week. I just know last I checked it was 26. So maybe from whatever reasons we could be in the 30s. Go spend some of it. Chris Greer knows the situation he faces. He knows he knows that a guy like Javon Holland is not going. You know how most of the time when you give somebody an extension, it helps you with your current cap space, but Javon Holland may not, because he was a second-round pick and his cap number was so low anyway that his new signing bonus alone, the portion for this year is probably going to be higher than what he would have made anyway. So Holland's going to take a hit immediately, and every year after that, it's going to be greater, because unless you don't value him, otherwise it technically worked out. I just feel like we need to work smarter, not harder. And the smart thing to do is fix the O-line. The smart thing to do was always fix the O-line. It was always fix the O-line. It has always been fix the O-line. And people wonder why I be having my reservations about Tua Tagovailoa. As long as you don't fix the O-line, it's still a concern, because now you're asking him to be more than he needs to be. And I've never felt like he was that. The guy that's going to be more than he needs to be. And that ain't a knock on him, but recognizing you're asking him to be Superman because of the inefficiencies you have around him. Sorry, what do you need? The tablet? Okay. Thank you. We need to turn heads this year. Deep down inside, maybe I've hinted to this, but I have been a little more positive lately. I am a wreck. Every time I think about this team this year, I am a wreck internally. Like, I'm a wreck. McDaniel has to be great in what I'm hoping can happen. Is he going to be great? Like, he has to figure this out, because we got talent, but is the talent really a cohesive unit? I'm not talking about their friends. cohesively. They love each other, celebrations cohesively. Does your game plan work cohesively in the biggest moments? We've seen the cohesiveness against the bad teams. See, it's so easy to be cohesive and be together when there's no resistance. But when y'all all locked up in a line, one straight line together, everybody got each link, and the other team is traveling right along with you. They're not breaking your ranks because they soft. They're not offering any resistance. They're not, how strong is your line? How strong is your line? No, against the bad teams, we're hitting them. How strong is your line? And they're breaking apart. But when we go up against them big teams, not only do we hit their line to see how strong they are, but we've been coming apart just hitting them. Even if they don't hit us. And then when they hit us, it's all over. That's what I feel like. McDaniel, how can you make this team a cohesive unit, staying in line, locked, ball and chain together when the other team has a solid line as well? When it's a battle. I'm an absolute nerve wreck because I'm not going to say that we can't do it, but I need to see something from McDaniel that, like, it got to come from Mike McDaniel. Like, this is what I want people to understand. It can't come from anywhere else. Tyreek cannot be greater than he already has. Like, I look at this whole roster, and I'm going to be honest. Guys aren't going to be greater than they already have been. And I know some people be like, oh, I disagree. I think guys can get better. Okay, that's a fundamental difference that we may share. But from my standpoint, guys aren't going to be better than they already have. But I'll also qualify that by saying they don't need to be. If McDaniel can put it together, and however that looks, I don't have the answers. And if McDaniel can't put it together, now you have to add certain guys to elevate their game. If you think Tua has a better season in him than he did 2 years ago, because I'm going to tell you, last year was a regression. It was still okay, but it was a regression. No matter how y'all want to slice it. Last year was a slight regression, but the year before was so high that even that regression is okay. But it was a regression. Acceptable regression. It's like throwing for 10,000 yards and next thing you know, you throw for 7. Like, yeah, you regress, but who's there who needs to complain? Everybody throwing for 3. You know? So don't think that's a knock. But he got to be better than he was 2 years ago. And then, like, if McDaniel can't figure it out and have this team operating the way it needs to with the same level of play from everybody, which is already high, then Tua has to be Mahomes. I don't want to hear this. Tua's going to unlock another level. I mean, nobody's Mahomes. You can't expect him to be that. But he has to be if you want to actually achieve the mountaintop. If McDaniel can't figure it out and give us a look on the game, we're like, man, McDaniel, look how he's figuring this out. If he can't do that, then you need Tua to play like Mahomes. No questions asked. No ifs, ands, or buts. You need him to be on Mahomes' level in every aspect of the game, not just he got to be clutch. He got to improvise. He got to, bring the rabbit out the hat. He got to do all that. And if deep down internally, you're like, well, I mean, he ain't going to be Mahomes, but he could be better. Then no, that better still ain't going to be good enough. You need McDaniel somehow to figure out the difference. You need McDaniel to figure out the difference. Glenn said regression as in what? Well, what we don't knock Tua on 2 years ago is how he played against good teams. He didn't play his greatest against good teams 2 years ago, but we also don't knock him for, end of season clutch. Last year, we were like, oh, as long as Tua don't get hurt, now he'll be able to prove to everybody that if he would have played last year, what happened with Skylar wouldn't have happened. We would have been straight. And it made him look worse when we weren't straight. Because y'all remember 2 years ago, Tua didn't play the last 4 games or whatever for the season. The whole narrative. Well, we all know if Tua would have played them last 4, none of this would have happened. We would have been straight. And here he was presented with that exact same scenario. As long as he stays healthy, now Tua is going to show y'all how to close the season out. And actually, it made him look worse. Because we could ride, at least some of y'all could ride with that assumption from 2 years ago. If he would have played, we already know we would have been in a better situation. We can ride with that assumption because we didn't see in the ladder. And sure enough, he was blessed with the opportunity to cement it and lock it in for everybody. And we dropped a 3-game lead in the division with 4 games left. Make it make sense. In which he didn't play well in none of them. So that's why I say there was regression. Even though I've spent a whole year saying y'all need to stop being unfair to Skylar. Y'all need to stop this mess because y'all don't know if Tua would have been in those games if he would have won them or not. He could have very well looked bad too. Oh, TD, you a hater, blah, 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 blah. He got his golden opportunity last year. And what was the results? And I didn't say that he wouldn't have been better. I just said y'all being unfair to Skylar. Y'all just automatically assuming Tua was going to do better if he was in. And the only reason I said pause on that because the 2 previous years to close out the season, Tua had already given us sprinkles of not rising for the occasion. Tennessee Titans, the year before, Buffalo, big games, you win and you end, failed. So that's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to even knock on Tua. I was just saying, let's be fair to every quarterback on this roster. Because to this day, I'll still tell you what. In the last 2 years, take the last 4 games of every season. Last year, take the last 4 games plus the playoffs. The year before, take the last 4 games plus the playoffs. That's 10 games. Skylar's had the best quarterback performance in all 10 of them games. And that was against Buffalo in a loss. Go back and look. Tell me I'm wrong. Last year, the last 4 games plus the playoff. And the year before, the last 4 games plus the playoff. 10 total games. Clutch in the back end of the season. Skylar put together the best performance in all 10 games from the quarterback position versus Buffalo. Now you can say I'm tripping. Where your evidence? Tell me what game was better by any quarterback on this roster. Did I say Skylar was better than Tua right now? No, that's not a point I'm making. But he's had the best performance, albeit it was a loss. But he's had the best performance in 10 games to close out the season in the last 2 years. It's the best quarterback performance we saw. Somebody say anything to fit a narrative, huh? It's no narrative here. I'm just saying to you. That was always the thing with Tua. Can he close out? Can he be clutch? Can he carry the team in the big moment when it matters most? Ladies and gentlemen, Tua Tagovailoa has been a quarterback for 4 years now. There has been 0% of carrying the team in the biggest moment when it matters most. 0. Not 10%, not 15, not 20. There has been 0% success in the big moment when it has mattered most. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a fact, an uncomfortable fact. And it should be uncomfortable for every Miami Dolphin fan in this world. That is an uncomfortable fact that we have to live with because the results have been the results. You may not like that fact. You want him to change that fact. We all want him to change that fact, but that doesn't change the fact that it is a fact. It is a fact. Way to spend it, TD. It's spend, not spend. And that's what spin can you put on a fact? Well, that's wrong. There are true facts. There's true lies and false facts. But tell me where the spin is on that. Tell me how I'm positioning that to write this, I guess, to a such a narrative that y'all think I have. This ain't about him sucking. This is about us recognizing what we're waiting on from Tua Tagovailoa. All Dolphin fans, we're waiting on one thing. And it is a fact that we have yet to see it or even an ounce of it. We are all, that's why I'm telling you now, all of these regular season games, deep down inside, every real Dolphin fan are going to cheer and enjoy and support the first 12 games of the season this year. The first 12 weeks of the season this year, we're all going to be blah, blah, blah. But when week 13 comes, we all deep down are going to be paying attention to Tua Tagovailoa in our spirits. We literally know, all right, here's where the game begins. Now, I already know the work that's going to happen in the first 12. Everybody going to build him up to be the MVP, and everybody's going to be like, see, how can you deny him? I mean, there's no question. Anybody that used to deny him, you got to give it up for him now. But deep down, everybody, people that like him, people that don't like him, whatever, everybody going to be watching. Green Bay, Cleveland, Houston, the Jets twice, in San Francisco. End of discussion. And if he rises to the occasion, there will be no doubt about this man. None. If he rises to the occasion, there will be no doubt about him. If he doesn't, I'm going to leave that to y'all. I'm going to leave that to y'all. We know what time it is. We know who got to be the alpha in them last 6 games. We know who got to be the dog in them last 6 games. Tyreek can't save you in them last 6 games. McDaniel can't save you in them last 6 games. Nobody, Weaver can't save you in them last 6 games. We know who got to be the one. We know. Nobody can dispute it. Oh, it's a team game. Shut up. We already know who it got to be in them last 6 games. Because what I've learned is, you know how I keep telling y'all, even if we lose, don't be the reason why we lose. Be good in what around you didn't show up and we lose. You remember Skylar in the playoff game versus Buffalo? He did his thing, in my opinion. But Tyreek, Waddle, all them dropping those passes, he wasn't technically the full reason we lost. He actually benefited way past our expectations. You got to have games like that when you lose where you're not the reason. But let me qualify that. 9 times out of 10, when your quarterback show up, you don't lose. That's the caveat to it. 9 times out of 10, when your quarterback show up and ball out, you don't lose. You can still lose, but more than not, you won't lose. Just the way the game goes. Just the way the game goes. So no matter how you want to say I'm twisting this or making it seem, facts are facts. Everybody is still waiting on the clutch moments when it matters most. Win or go home. Who are you? And we know what he's been for 4 years now. You even got paid regardless. You got paid regardless. We'll find out this year. And let me tell y'all something about me. I love it. I love the brutalness of the back end of the season because I love success stories. I love the underdog. And if you don't think Tua the underdog in them last 6, you just really, because I know that if I could see our guy overcome and do his thing, I can finally remove doubts. I can finally move forward and feel good about who we have leading our team. Some of y'all would suggest I should feel that way now. I don't. Only he can make me feel that way in his play. All this narrative, he can win a Super Bowl and you won't feel that way. It's not true. Can we test? Well, let's test it. Let's test it. Let's test it. But can he do his part of the test so we can see? It's that simple. And the truth of the matter is, some of y'all need to stop the hate anyway. Because even if he won the Super Bowl, you'd be mad at me if I celebrated. Some of y'all be mad. So stop. So cut the crap. Y'all just hate people like me that call out what is that it is. Y'all just don't like that because you believe, and I've never said anything was wrong with it. The only problem I have with the people that believe are criticizing those who don't. That's it. I've never had a problem with anybody being a fan, celebrating, believing that he could be the greatest. I've never had an issue with that. The only issue I've had with those individuals are the way you treat people who don't. It's the true nastiness. But they'll present it as if you're the nasty one for not believing. No, you're nasty by not being able to respect someone's opinion to wait and see. You're nasty. That's what you call control, manipulation, wanting to, cancel people and be mad at them because they don't believe. Because they point out the flaws. They point out the issues. And truth be told, I don't want to point out the flaws and the issues as much as I do. I could come on here right now and be like, I love that Tua does this. I love that he does that. Everybody will cheer. They'll agree. There's nothing to discuss. But if I say I'm concerned about this, oh, you're just hating. Now I got to address the fact that I'm hating. Oh, you're blah, blah, blah. Then I got to address that fact. And you wonder why that dominates the conversation. Because y'all can't just allow people's opinions to be and let time tell. So all your rebuttals get a response, and then that response dominates the conversation. And now all of a sudden you're labeled, oh, all you do is talk negative. No, I'm defending my position. A position that's fair, it shouldn't even have to be defended if we could just respect one another's opinions and allow time to tell. So that's the way it happens. Somebody said no faith. With me, no. I only have faith in God. It's that simple. Everything else requires evidence. Everything else, I require evidence. When it comes to what I'm relying on from God, I don't need evidence. That's what faith is. Everything else in my life, I don't exercise faith. I exercise evidence because it's worldly. Just saying. That's just how I live. Some of y'all live the other way. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right? You have faith in your kids. I have faith that what God can do for my kids. But just general faith in my kids, no. I believe in work with them to develop. But I have faith in what God can do for my kids. See, again, anything involving faith, it has to go to God first and go there. Okay? So No. All right. TD is a negative Nancy. I'm not a Nancy. I'm a negative Tony. That's my first name, Tony. TD is a negative Tony. If that's what you want to say, at least say TD is a negative Tony. I'm not a Nancy. Right. OBJ playing us. I'm leaving that whole situation alone. I'm letting time play out on that and see what the end result be before I speak on it. I can make assumptions, but I don't have enough evidence nor commentary to make assumptions. If something come out and I'm like, okay, now I feel like, then I'll talk about it. But right now, ain't enough evidence for me to suggest either way. Play it how it is. You're nursing an injury, rehabbing, getting back to form, and hopefully we see him at some point. They know what they signed up for. Or do they know what they signed up for? And now they're realizing what I don't know. I don't know. That shows you can't project talent then. Maybe I can. Yeah, when it comes to projecting talent, you got to also understand this. I've never been in the business of projecting talent, like coming from college, if you're talking to me, like coming from college and stuff like that. The first time I actually evaluated a group of quarterbacks was Tua Tagovailoa's draft. And the very next year after that, I didn't evaluate no quarterback. I ain't evaluate like people do that all the time. What I do is I don't even wait. Listen, I try to give y'all content on prospects and all that, but I just be feeling like it's the biggest waste of time. Every year that I try to give y'all what y'all want as far as, I like this kid out of this, at this position of need. I like it. Man, Chris Greer don't go get nobody I talk about. He don't get nobody be out there talk about. Like, people be out there, they might be like, oh, that's who I wanted once every 5 years. So I'm going to go out here and talk about all these players that we not going to draft. It's going to be somebody, Chop Robinson. Ain't nobody had Chop Robinson going in the end of the first to the Miami Dolphins. None of y'all. You might have had him in the second, but you ain't had him in the first. Nobody, ain't not a soul alive had Patrick Paul in the second round. I don't care what nobody out here saying, well, this person, stop it. Stop it. They twisting it. Now, not us saying, none of you had Jalen Wright. Even though he was a talent, you ain't have him. You ain't have Muhammad Kamara. You might have known about him and said that's a nice little option for the future. But that's all I'm saying. So evaluation of talent, I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time for training camp. Ooh, this guy's no, not unless we drafted him and we have an investment in him. Nope. You know when I start evaluating players? On Tuesday at 4 p.m., whoever make this 53, now it's worth it. They on the team. So, no, I don't get into all that. Now I evaluate them as a professional. How are you looking? When we on film, how do you show up? When your ratings come out, how are you looking? Let's see if the film matches it. That's when I start evaluating players. I'm not in the business of, I think this kid could be the. Yeah, now, don't get me wrong. When we draft players, when we did draft Chop, I went and did my research. I went and looked at some film. I went and found some of the game film outside of what the scouts say and said, let me look at him and do some random reps. Let me watch this game on some random reps. And it's hard to find out there too. I don't want to, and I don't watch film when you playing, Iowa Community College. When it comes to football, y'all know these non-great football teams, I don't watch that film. Let me watch you play another SEC team, another Big Ten. Let me watch you play. What game you got good competition? Bam, right there. Let me find that film. Let me reach out to my college guy that know how to get it for me. Let me find that, or let me see if it's loaded. And I'll go watch them. How do you match up with this first or second round projected left tackle? Let me watch this. Just like Tua. When I went to go watch Tua, I ain't watch all his games at Alabama. There were 7 ranked teams. Vanderbilt twice. There were 7 ranked teams that Tua played in his entire career at Alabama. 7. Vanderbilt twice and another 5. And I, for the life of me, don't know why he struggled most against Vanderbilt because they were the lowest ranked out of all of them, but that's not here nor there. But I looked at his tendencies in those games with real competition, at least the closest competition to what you're going to get in the NFL. I don't care nothing, no random Appalachian State, or I don't care nothing about all that 6 touchdowns, 480 yards that y'all raving about. He's good. So that's where I get my evaluations from. So yeah, maybe I can't evaluate, but I'm constantly in the process and trying to become a better one. And please understand something, people. When you come over here and you try to compare me to what other people can do and what they can evaluate or what I can't do, I keep it real. It's not embarrassing or anything like that. I'm giving you my raw opinion about everything I see, and at least I do a little bit of research to determine how I feel about a certain situation. And I am open to anybody educating me and removing any ignorance that I have, because that's what you call maturity. I have a belief, I have a stance, and I'm going to stand on it. And when you bring that new evidence, if it makes sense to me, I could easily shift. But y'all I'm here to have good conversations with y'all. Y'all got to stop attacking my stance and educate me on why it's different. Because there have been not many, just a few times on this show where I've said, that's a good comment. I never thought about it that way. I'm going to go back and look at that a little better and start considering that. And the only reason it's been a few times is because people don't do that much often. They rather say, oh, you're an idiot. You don't know ball. Hey, what's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? Is it what the internet do to you? Like, that's what we over here for, to have football conversation, not football. I can't wait till he say something I can get on him about it and try to degrade. Y'all stop. Now, if I'm getting paid the millions and I'm on ESPN doing all that stuff and I got a bad take, it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory now, but I'm just saying, this is what I hope for the channel to be, at least, you know? So, and just like players, we can criticize them. That's what they make the millions for. You self-admit to trolling, so come on. Yeah. But I hope that my audience watch me enough and understands my demeanor and my temperament to know when I am and when I'm not. And also, when I'm trolling, it's because this channel isn't just, listen, this is not what I am, by the way. Breaking news today, Mike White is cut by the Miami Dolphins. Skylar Thompson will resume as a starting quarterback. Pay attention to this as Miami moves forward to try to see in the event that, no, I'm going to put my personality. I'm going to have fun, crack some jokes, be free. And those who understand that on this channel, they laughing, they having fun, they enjoying it. Some of y'all who making this a competition between me and others and taking it so serious, it's like, oh, he just said something that like y'all on tense, like y'all over here to, we got to figure out a way to bring him down or something. I joke a lot because it ain't that serious. We gotta have fun. We gotta have fun. TD, stop it. When you troll, a lot of people don't take you seriously. These artifacts, TD, sorry. Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people don't take me serious. That's why that's why we have fun over here. They don't take me serious. When I'm joking, they don't. But you said a lot of people don't take me serious. But there are some that do. And I'm talking about those some. Because they're always the loudest and most vocal in the chat. They're always the loudest and most vocal in comment sections. I know a lot of people don't take me serious because we're having fun and I don't want them to. I want them to enjoy the humor out of it. I want them to be relaxed as I am. But those few people, I just try to understand what's up with y'all, man. Hey, y'all can't see it. Y'all can't see it. Skylar QB1 after what he just did. You can't see it. See, this is why nobody listens to you. You say crazy stuff like that. And this is where I'm wrong. To expect nobody to take me serious. That's where I'm wrong, to make the assumption that nobody takes me serious. That's my bad. But I can't alter that for those few people. I just don't understand why y'all always are so vocal. Y'all so vocal in the chat and I just don't understand that. Man, we having fun, man. We laughing, especially Twitter. They hate me on Twitter. Like I was self-admit. They hate me on Twitter. Like some people are just, and I ain't trying to shame them, but that's your sensitivity. All the politicians can troll, but TD can't. I don't know. Let Tua troll, but I can't. Oh man. Talk about football, yawn. And I talk about what I please. I'll say this. That's the only benefit for this channel for me, is that I get to be free and do what I choose. And whoever rock with it, rock with it. Whoever don't. So I don't let people say, stop talking about that. Talk about football only. You don't tell me what to do. I get to do as I choose. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. You make a decision. So that's all I'm saying. And then right there, I just made 10 people mad. I'm done with him. That's the result of it. For me to be free, for me to enjoy myself, for me to create the content I want to create, how I want to create. I'm not the one to conform to what everybody wants just to get a subscriber, because nobody can. This is why people that think that others are so formal don't listen to them. Oh, they just formal. I want entertain. So, and nobody that does what I do, content creator, can make everybody happy. So allow content creators to be them. Do what they do. If you rock with it, rock. If you don't. It's that simple. But constantly chasing what other people want, it'll drive you crazy. Trust me, I got a free mind. Some people hate me just because I am free mentally. They want me to feel pain. They want me to pay for not believing in certain players. I can't stand this guy. He needs some type of punishment. Some of them say, don't worry, when this person has more than you, you'll feel it. I don't do it as competition. I don't get it. So yeah, it's the craziest thing to me. But I enjoy it, man. I enjoy even these talks, just being able to help people understand my thought process and who I am as a person. Why do I do that? Because it's a good way to live. It's a good way to live. It is a beautiful way to live. I don't fear things. I don't worry about things because I'm covered by God. And if something did happen to me, it's because he wanted it to for some bigger purpose. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing to live free and can care less about what other people think about you. See, some of y'all mistake me addressing people as me caring or getting in my feelings. No, I live free. But I like to have that conversation. I like to debunk myths and do all that stuff. It's just who I am. But I am so free. I am so in peace. I love it. I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm happy in life. Thank you, God. Thank you. I'm just so free and happy. Okay. And I recommend other people, it holds you back when you're worrying about looking right or doing right for everybody. And what are they going to think about this? How are they going to think about this? Are they going to? Oh, I come for the debates. TD, you bring up the best debates sometimes. That's what's up, man. You know what's crazy? That's not like this crazy gift or fun like thing that I do. I just question everything. I think a lot of y'all forget why this channel started. Not for me to have fun, not as a hobby. I was confused. Why is it every year I'm living in this mind space that this is the Super Bowl year? That that Adam Beasley is all in my brain, you know, like that type of content. If I'm saying the right person, is that the one who always do the interviews with the Dolphins and he kind of like in there? Like, I think it's him. Maybe I'm saying the wrong person. If I am, dang, that's messed up because I want this one to be allocated to the right person. But y'all can tell me if I'm talking about the right person. The one that there'll never be a negative thing said about the team. Who is that? I want to make sure I get the name right because it's important that I make sure that name is right and don't put it on somebody it don't belong to. So y'all will tell me in the comment section in a second. Did I get the person right? I actually need validation on that real quick because I really don't want to put somebody else's name on it. Who is it? Barry Jackson, Travis Winfield. Why did I say Adam Beasley? His name just reminds me of the past, maybe. But it is. I think it is Travis Winfield. Is that the one that sits down and do all the interviews? He's like, he works with the team too, and there's never been anything negative come out of his mouth about the team. Like never. I don't know. I get it and give it back to y'all. But whoever that is, but it sounds like Travis Winfield now. I don't know. I really tuned him out so much because not Chris Perkins. Chris Perkins been getting on that business sometime. But I tune whoever it is, I tune him out because if you ain't never got no criticism of the team, then you're in the business of doing something. You're in the business of something. Okay. Well, yeah, no. Not CB83. CB83 is the junior of this person, but CB83 got it bad too. I see him in here. Oh man, yeah, it's probably Wingfield. That's who it probably is. You know, yeah, I think that's who it is. But listen, every year, I just felt like, man, they telling us all the reasons why we should be encouraged this year. Yeah, it's the year, Super Bowl, baby. All right, that's all I want, Super Bowl. Y'all don't understand. I was a young, blind. I was a young blind. Like I was everything Dolphins to the point of there ain't nothing we could do. Deion Jordan was going to be a Hall of Famer. That ain't true, but I'm trying to make a point. I was so bad that if I would have said it, it would have been Deion Jordan would be a Hall of Famer. That's how bad I was. Boy, ain't nobody who made the roster wasn't the best player in the league. That's how serious it was. So all y'all that be like, oh, TD, man, I've been there. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all. I've been on that side. I've been on that delusional side. I was the president of that delusional side. I was the president of it. I'm telling you. I am telling you, man. And I know my life started to shift when it was like, when Bullygate happened, I was just like, oh, finally got a line, and I just feel like I ain't gonna lie. See, this is where I'm wrong, and I always transparent with y'all, but don't get mad at me. I used to be like, man, Jonathan Martin need to suck it up. I ain't gonna say all I was saying. I ain't gonna say all I was saying, but hey, Jonathan Martin ruining everything. Boy. I used to, man, I'm telling y'all, Bullygate, Teddy Hill got hurt. I mean, man, y'all wouldn't begin to understand. Y'all wouldn't begin to understand. So I get it. This is why I say a lot. Some of y'all ain't been a Dolphin fan long enough. Oh, man. So I just start to pick the team apart. I start taking articles, reading them, remembering who wrote it and what they said. And let's see if this happens. I start evaluating players and start to understand, they see all of these attributes in this player, but when I look at it, I don't see this, this, and this. But I'm young at this. Maybe I don't know. Let me just write it down to see. And I started to actually keep receipts. And I started to, we being lied to. No, we ain't being lied to. We being manipulated to just keep cheering for this team and knowing that there is zero accountability to give the fans a great product. That's how I felt, at least. I'm finna talk about this. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to TD Sports Talk. That's what I think my first intro was. Welcome to TD Sports Talk. I'm here. I'm gonna be talking about, sounding like this corny guy, blah blah blah. But I always had that in me, no fear. Like, I don't worry about what other people think. So, doing my thing, and I'm just telling the truth. And I was positive to start out. I was positive. I believe what I believe. I didn't go so hard on the things that I was like not sure about. I just showed hope in every area. Now I'm at the point where there is no hope. There's no, evidence. All the evidence point to just don't make the stupid decision. But they'd make it anyway, and I got to call that out. And listen, this was a bad decision. I think that when it's all said and done, we're going to see that. So it's starting to transform. People say, oh, TD, you're a lot different than you used to be. I used to love listening to you. Now you get straight to it, and then you chastise and criticize all the stuff that ain't blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I kind of removed all the fluff. All of it in the past of making you feel good about the bad, it was just fluff. Pandering to feelings. And because I know, and because it's also a form of manipulation, technically. I know people ain't going to want to hear this truth. So let me ease it on them. And you'll have people in the chat, bro, you taking it easy. You know good and well. They were right. I was just trying to soft land things for certain people because I knew they were a little bit more emotional. And then when I started talking about they were being emotional, then they start hating me. Emotional people don't like to talk about them being emotional. They hate that. And like, let's just be honest. You're in your feelings. You're ignoring the facts, arguing with me about facts just to satisfy your feeling. And that's what started to happen. And I started calling it out. And that has people boiling. This guy, I can't, don't ever listen to this. That's what it creates. But listen, I got zero tolerance for it at this point. At this point, I'm here to tell you what it is and continue to study it and come back and be like, this is what I was trying to tell y'all. Hey, I was totally wrong on this. I didn't see this factor in this. And for that, I was wrong. I never considered this, so both ways, humbly be able to take it. So that's who I am. I know when we're going to have a winner. I feel like I'll know when we're going to have a winner. And right now, I feel like Chris Grier is about to miss out on a major opportunity to have a winner. Right now, we can be winners. Go get 2 offensive linemen, the best you can find. They ain't even got to be the greatest in the league. They ain't got to be the top in the league. They just need to be better than what we have now. And I would feel so much better about this team going to war this year and having a real shot. But right now, I'm like, if we can pull a trick out the hat, we can do it. That's how I feel about it right now. We got all this talent. If we can stay healthy, if Weaver can create a defense that shocks us, if Tua could take another level that shocks us, if McDaniel can coordinate it all and we be shocked, because it would be shocking. It would be shocking. And I'm here for the shock. I'm here for it. So we'll see. I just feel like we can solidify it to the point of where, y'all, we finna do something. Like standing on business on it. You know what I mean? But he refused to. And I feel like he needs to tell Mike McDaniel, I don't care what you say about these old linemen. I'm going to get you better ones. You could tell me the ones you have are just fine now. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to get you better ones. But when they choose not to, I don't want to hear next year, oh, we know the issue is really the old line. Stop blaming this person. Stop blaming that person. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Because the bigger picture is going to be Grier and Mike McDaniel if it ends up being the O-line. Do me a favor. Don't come about that O-line crap all season. Come about Grier and Mike McDaniel. Because Mike McDaniel endorses this O-line. Chris Grier was actually going to get him, but he went with it. You're the boss. Get what you want. Get what you know. So though if this O-line ends up being the reason, whether it's injuries or play, it doesn't matter. Put the blame in the right place. Put the blame in the right place. You can't go get Zach Wilson, the quarterback of your team, and expect for him to be Mahomes. And then at the end of the season, the only reason we lost is because of Zach Wilson. No, it's because your general manager got him. Stop blaming him. He is who he is. If you would have put him in the backup role or something like that, he would have gave you exactly who he was and what he was supposed to give you. Stop putting these people in positions to have to do more than they're capable of and then try to blame them for not rising to your expectation. And that's true in life. Not just football, that's in life. That's what people do. It's unfair. You'll literally get someone or bring someone in to do something they're not capable of and then blame them for not meeting that expectation. That's what Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel's doing. So if they go out and they do their job and we win and we're a successful team, I'm wrong. I did not see that coming. I'm glad that they're the coach and the general manager and not me. If they don't, this is all I saw. So even right now, humbly, it doesn't make me right. I don't know if I'm going to be right, but this is a concern of mine. Only time will tell if it's a valid concern or not. I'm still going to be beating the table. Go get some O-linemen right now. Go get some O-linemen right now, man. I do not like what we're going to war with. TD, quit tripping. We about to sweep the East. I know it, man. We about to win 14 games. First round bye. Be at home against one of them other teams. I don't want to name them. And win that game. Then we in the AFC Championship game. Oh, y'all, we got an opportunity. We're going to knock the Chiefs down at home. At home. And we're going to go to the Super Bowl in New Orleans, baby. Against whoever. Now I got to get back to them days where I was talking about, should I go to the Super Bowl? Should I go or should I stream it right here? I used to think like that. I used to be that crazy in the head and be like, man, I'm wondering, should I go to the Super Bowl? We get like I having these I did 2-hour streams on, if we go to the Super Bowl. I did, trust me, I was so listen. Yeah, I see y'all laughing at me. But man, I used to have it bad. Yeah, I used to make plans. I did 2-hour streams on the Super Bowl. What I would do, what the plans I would make. Man, I just want a Super Bowl. I just want us to go to a Super Bowl. I ain't gonna say even if we lose, but I just want us to go because I know my team was legit this year, man. We were legit, But I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, y'all. Y'all keeping me. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Again, if you're new to this channel, please sub right now. If you like rocking with us and you're cool with hanging out with us on a regular basis, hit that subscribe button. Also, this stream was powered by BetUS. They made this stream possible. So if you enjoyed it and you're looking for a new sports book, make sure you check out BetUS, ladies and gentlemen. They are offering a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, all the way up to $2,000, man. So if you want to take advantage of that, this is your opportunity. The link is in the description of the video. It's also pinned at the top of the chat, all right? We literally have about 11 days left. And we're going to be experiencing real NFL football on Thursday Night Football, and it's a good matchup. And then Friday, we have another matchup that we get to experience. And then 14 days from now, the Miami Dolphins will be going to war with the Jacksonville Jaguars, getting that first W, okay, handing out that first L. All right, so y'all stay tuned. We got a lot coming your way. A quick word from our sponsor, and I am out. Love y'all. Peace.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.